Welcome to experiment 7. So in this experiment, we built a chatbot that can understand what the user is saying and reply appropriately. So this is different from a simple if-else chatbot because our chatbot actually learns from the examples using machine learning. The key concept here is called intent classification. And intent is simply the purpose behind the user's message. For example, when the user types hello or hi or good morning, all of these have a same intent, which is greeting. So our chatbot identifies the intent and gives the suitable reply. Okay, so now while coming to the code. So first, we are importing the necessary libraries. So we import NLTK and random from standard Python. From NLTK, we import word tokenize, the split sentence into individual words. From sklearn, we import count vectorizer. This converts text into numbers. So we import multinomial NB, which is a naive-based classifier. We also download the Punket tokenizer data for NLTK. So this is the data file from word tokenize needs to work correctly. So we download both Punket and Punket tab because new versions of Collab may need Punket tab. So after that, while coming to the step 2, okay. So we are defining the intents and responses. We have two dictionaries here. The first one is called intents. Each key is an intent name. Greeting, good boy, thanks, name, help. The value is a list of example sentences that belong to that intent. For example, under greeting we have hello, hi, hey, good morning, howdy, and so on. So these are the sentences the model will learn from. So the second dictionary is called responses. For each intent, we have a list of possible replies. When the chatbot detects the intent, it randomly picks one reply from this list. So that's why the bot does not always say the same thing. So it uses the random.choice function to vary the response. So we added more examples per intent compared to the original. So this directly improves the model ability to recognize new variations of user input. Okay, so while coming to step 3, okay, so we are preparing the training data. So we flatten the intents dictionary into two parallel lists, sentences and labels. We loop through each intent and its examples. Each example sentence goes into the sentence list and its corresponding intent name goes into the labels list. So after running this, if we print the first few entries, we can see pairs like hello maps to greeting, bye maps to good boy, and so on. So this flat structure is what the machine learning model accepts. A list of inputs and a list of corresponding labels. Okay, so now we are moving to the step 4. Okay. So we are implementing text pre-processing with NLTK. So first we convert the input into lowercase using .lower function. So hello and hello are treated as the hello with H in caps and the hello with H in small or treated the same. Second, it calls word tokenize to split the sentence into the individual words. For example, what is your name becomes the list as what, comma, is, comma, your, comma, name, comma, and a question mark. So finally, it joins those tokens back into a clean string. So we apply this function to all the training sentences using list comprehension. So in this demo, you have seen the transformation. Hello becomes hello. Then what is your name becomes all are in the lowercase. Okay. Okay. This normalization is critical. So without it, the model would treat hello with H caps and hello with H in small lowercase as two different words and learn nothing meaningful. Okay. So this is all about pre-processing, and we are moving on to the step 5. Okay. Um, so here we vectorizing text and training the model. So we create a count vectorizer and call fit underscore transform on all processed sentences. This builds a vocabulary of unique words and converts each sentence into a vector of word counts. Then we create a multinomial NB model and train it using model.fit with our feature matrix X and labels list. So naive Bayes works by calculating the probability of each word appearing in each intent category. For example, if there is a word hello appears frequently in the greeting intent, so if a new input contains hello, the model assigns a high probability to greeting. So we do a quick accuracy check on the training data and print the result. So you should see 100% training accuracy, which means the model has correctly learned all the training samples. Okay, so now we are moving to the step 6. Okay, so here the function chatbot underscore response takes the user input and returns a reply. So inside this function, it does exactly four things. So first, it pre-processes the inputs, which is lowercase and tokenization. After that, while coming to the second step, it transforms the cleaned input using the same vectorizer we used during the train. So notice here, we use vectorizer dot transform, not fit underscore transform. This is because the vocabulary must stay fixed. Third, it calls model.predict to identify the intent. So while coming to the fourth step, it uses the random.choice to pick one response from that intent's response pool. So before starting the full chat loop, we test this function with four sample inputs. So hi there, what is your name? Thank you, and can you help me? So you can see each input gets the correct intent detected as the meaningful reply. Okay, so now we are moving on to the seventh step, which is an interactive chat loop. Okay, so we start a while true loop that keeps the conversation going until the user types exit or boy. So inside this loop, we read the user input with the input function. We check if it is an exist word. If yes, we print goodbye and break. So we check if it is empty, if yes. So we ask the user to type something. Otherwise, we call chatbot response and print the predicted intent along with the reply. Okay. So let me demonstrate a sample conversation. Here, when I type hi, the bot detects the greeting, detects that it is a greeting intent and replies hello. Hello, how can I help you? So when I type what is your name, it detects the name intent and tells us it is an ML chatbot. Okay. So when I type thanks, it says you're welcome. And when I type exit, it says goodbye and loop ends. Okay. So that's it. So while coming to the result and conclusion, we built a working ML based chatbot using NLTK for pre-processing and naive based for intent classification. So this chatbot understands five intents: greetings, goodbye, thanks, name, and help. So this gives very new natural replies using the random selection. So it handles unexpected input gracefully with the try expect blocks. So this is a basic chatbot, but the same architecture scales up. So you can add more intents, use better models like BERT, or you can use Rasa framework for production systems. Thank you.